Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are working on radicals. This is our radical units before we cover right triangles that are necessary. When we add and subtract radicals, we want to think about combining like terms. We want to use the exact same concept of combining like terms. So let us talk about that. So number one. 2x plus 5x would give me 7x. 15y minus 10y would give me 5y. Here, when I combine like terms, I cannot combine x's and y's together because they are not alike. So I need to combine x's with x's and y's with y's. So this would give me 9x plus 5y. Same thing here. Combining x's with x's and y's with y's. So this would give me a negative 2x plus 5y. We've done this. This should look familiar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we add and subtract radicals, we want to do exactly the same thing. We want to treat the radical just like it's a fancy x. Okay? No different. So when we combine radicals, we do exactly the same thing. So I have 2 square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 3. That's going to give me 7 square root of 3. When I have 15 square root of 5 minus 20 square root of 5, again, that gives me a negative 5 square root of 5. Again, I'm just treating the radical just like it's a fancy x. When I have two different radicals, I can beat them like different terms, different like terms. So I want to kind of combine square root of 3's with square root of 3's and square root of 5's with square root of 5's. So 3 square root of 3 plus 6 square root of 3 gives me 9 square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 5. Number 8, we're combining square root of 3's with square root of 3's. Square root of 5's with square root of 5's. So 10 square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 3 will give me 8 square root of 3. And negative 3 square root of 5 plus 8 square root of 5 will give me a positive 5 square root of 5. Alright. Next. Sometimes our radical are not in simplest form. So we talked about simplifying our radicals last time. So when we had to simplify our radicals first, then we want to be able to add our radicals together. So here I can simplify this radical. So this is the same thing as 9 times 2. And this is a 3, and this is a 3. So that becomes let's see. So that becomes the square root of 3 squared times 2 plus the square root of 3. The 3 is a good square kid, so it can come out of the house. Let's change color so it makes it a lot more easier to see. This 3 right here is a good square kid, so it can come out of the house. So I get 3 square root of 2 plus the square root of 3. And that will be my answer. Okay. Again, let's try again, ladies and gentlemen. So I can simplify the 50. So that's the same as 25 times 2. And that's 5 times 5. We can do the same thing with the 8. That's 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. So I can rewrite that as this is the square root of 5 squared times 2 minus the square root of 2 squared times 2. Again, the good square kids can leave the house, and if you're not a good square kid, you have to stay in the house. So this becomes 5 times the square root of 2 minus 2 times the square root of 2. Now that our radicals are the same, now it's the same as combining like terms. So I'm combining like terms, so I have 5 square root of 2 minus 2 square root of 2, which gives me 3 square root of 2. Which gives me 3 square root of 2. Okay. Number 11. So again, can I simplify? First I'm going to do is, can I simplify the radical? I always want. So this is the same as 9 times 3. And this is the same thing as 3 times 3. I know for the 12, let's use a different color. For the 12, this is the same thing as 3 times 4 and 2 times 2. So I can rewrite this as 2 square root of 3 squared times 3 plus 5 square root of 2 squared times 3. And again, those good square kids can leave the house. Those good square kids can leave the house. And if you're not a good square kid, you have to stay in the house. So this becomes 2 times 3 times the square root of 3 plus 5 times 2 times the square root of 3. We can combine the numbers on the outside. So that becomes 6 square root of 3 plus 10 square root of 3. And then again, I can combine like terms. So that gives me 16 square root of 3. Number 12. So I want to do my tree. This is 4 times 5, which is 2 times 2. So this is 5 times 9, which is 3 times 3. So I've done my tree. So this becomes negative 6 square root of 2 squared times 5 plus 5 square root of 3 squared times 5. Again, I want my good square kids to come out of the house. And if you're not a good square kid, you're going to stay in the house. So I get the negative 6 times 2 times the square root of 5 plus 5 times 3 times the square root of 5. Again, I want to simplify outside of the radical. So this gives me a negative 12 square root of 5 plus 15 square root of 5. Now I can combine like terms. So that gives me 3 square root of 5. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Good. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Big ones, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing looks the same. Nothing looks the same. Let's see if we can kind of maybe speed up some of the process, since we should have the gist of it by now. Okay? So, we'll speed up this process. So, this gives us, I know this is 4 times 3, which is 2 times 2. I know this is 4 times 5, again, which is 2 times 2. I know this is 9 times 3, and this is 3 times 3. And this is 5, and I can't be simplified. So that tells me, so I know these are square kids right here, because there's 2 of them. So these are the numbers I'm going to be able to pull out, because they're at the end of my tree. Okay, so this is going to be 10 times 2, square root of 3, minus 3 times 2, square root of 5, minus 2 times 3, square root of 3, plus 8, square root of 5. And then again, I'm simplifying, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to simplify. So this becomes 20 square root of 3, minus 6 square root of 5, minus 6 square root of 5, excuse me, 6 square root of 3, plus 8 square root of 5. Combine like terms. So this becomes 14 square root of 3, plus 2 square root of 5. Good job. Alright, last one. We're going to do our tree. So I know this is 9 times 5. Oh, this is a perfect square. It's 6 times 6. This is 25 times 5. So, and this is 7 times 7. So, I'm hoping we start to see these perfect squares. Alright, those are perfect squares. So we're going to pull those out. So this would be a negative 3. Negative 3 square root of 5. Plus 6. Minus 5 square root of 5. Plus 8 times 7. We're going to go ahead and simplify our multiplication. So we have negative 3 square root of 5 plus 6 minus 5 square root of 5 plus 8 times 7 is 56. And we're going to, usually our numbers come first. So 6 plus 56 gives me 62. And we're going to combine like terms with our square root of 5s, which gives me a negative 8 square root of 5. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you soon.